Happening now, we have an update on a wanted Jamestown man who is now connected to a kidnapping in South Carolina. And Jamestown lawmakers are expected to make a decision tonight on hiring additional firefighters for the Pearl City. Plus, the land of the free, because of the brave, a group of local moms are coming together to celebrate and remember those that have served.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Bronson Rasmussen. Those stories and more are coming up. But first, a Jamestown man wanted in connection to a murder almost 2 weeks ago has been connected to a kidnapping in South Carolina. Now officers were dispatched to 7131 Rivers Avenue in North Charleston, South Carolina for reports of a kidnapping. Two victims told responders that they lived in Pennsylvania and were forcibly taken by Michael Burham, who is also wanted in Jamestown, New York, as a suspect in a homicide over a week ago. Burham is wanted in connection to the death of 34-year-old Kayla Hodgkin, who was found unresponsible at a Southside Jamestown address by her children. He has also been formally charged in connection with a vehicle fire that happened shortly afterwards. Police believe that Burham had rented a vehicle from Warren, PA, before making his way to the area of the homicide, then proceeding to the area of the vehicle fire. Authorities are currently in possession of the rental vehicle, with investigators determining that Burham fled with at least one other individual. The case has also received national attention throughout the TV program Live over the weekend. Burham was last seen wearing light-colored clothing, a dark baseball cap, and a pair of jeans. He may also have no facial hair and a different hairstyle from provided pictures. Now police believe that he could be fleeing south to Kansas, Oklahoma, or Texas, where he has known connections. Burham is considered armed and dangerous, and information can be reported anonymously to the Jamestown Police Department tip line at 716-483-8477 or by visiting crimestopperswny.org. A $2,500 reward is offered for information leading to his arrest. Now, this is an ongoing story, and we will update you whenever possible. To make sure, stay connected on our app on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Well, former Dunkirk Festivals coordinator Hector Rosas has been indicted for the alleged theft of $50,000. Now, New York State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli and Chautauqua County District Attorney Jason Schmidt announced that Rosas was allegedly using his position to steal funds. They said that the Silver Creek resident took nearly $15,000 in donations meant to aid residents of Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria into the festival's account, which he had complete access to. From 2016 to 2019, Rosas was alleged of collecting and never reporting over $42,000 in cash sales that was unaccounted for in the festival's account. Now, Rosas was arraigned in Chautauqua County Court before Judge Stephen Cass and is due back in court on June 13th of 2023. Well, an Olean man is behind bars following a hit-and-run accident that killed a woman. Deputies responded to the scene of a reported vehicle versus pedestrian crash on Seneca Avenue in the town of Olean. After investigation, authorities discovered that a pickup truck owned by 48-year-old Scott Carlson had allegedly struck and killed a 42-year-old Olean woman and then fled the scene. After a brief search, investigators found and arrested Carlson without incident. He was transported to Cattaraugus County Jail and is currently being held without bail. Carlson is currently being charged with both murder and manslaughter. More charges may be added upon further investigation. New York Congressman Nick Langworthy appeared in Buffalo Monday morning to address the migrant crisis coming to his district. Now, all of this is on the heels of Title 42 coming to an end, allowing an influx of migrants to enter the country. Now, last Tuesday, New York Governor Kathy Hochul issued a state of emergency for the state, which most of the southern tier counties have followed suit. According to the congressman, hotels in New York City are bursting with migrants. He's also accusing President Biden of abusing the 14th Amendment for not negotiating a debt ceiling deal.
Particularly look at my district, the southern tier, and that's why so many of our county executives have called for emergency declarations to try to express the spirit of what they're hearing from the taxpayers of their communities, that they don't want this migrant crisis to come to our backyard. And because no one in Chemung County or Cattaraugus County or Chautauqua County, or frankly, I haven't heard anyone that I've met in Erie County say, I want this community to be a sanctuary city and not enforce federal laws. We have federal laws for a reason. They need to be followed.
Now, last Friday in Chautauqua County, Executive P.J. Wendell had declared a state of emergency in response to the influx of asylum seekers. While Jamestown City Council is expected to finalize a decision regarding whether or not to hire 8 additional firefighters at tonight's voting session. Now, last February, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, awarded a $1.8 million grant for the purpose of hiring more emergency responders. The council has pushed back, making a decision several times in order to fully discuss the community and financial impacts of the new hires. Now, members of both the council and public have said the fire department to efficiently manage their day-to-day responsibilities in a cost-efficient manner that is in the city's best interest to lift the hiring freeze. As part of the grant agreement, 8 firefighters need to be hired, and 62 firefighters must be on the roster for the entirety of the grant's 3-year term. The City Council voting session will take place at 7:30 p.m. in the City Council chambers tonight on the 2nd floor of the municipal building. Well, switching gears a little bit, we'll get a first check of our weather forecast with Chief Forecaster Andrew Stevenson, and it's been a pretty nice weekend out there.
Yeah, we're going to get a pretty nice day out there right now. First offense Doppler radar, pretty quiet out there. Mostly sunny skies across the region, although if the skies do look kind of milky out there, it's not really clouds. It's just wildfire smoke that we have drifting across the region from more wildfires up in Canada. Let's take a look at the almanac for today. We made it to a high of 67 degrees yesterday. Our low for the day yesterday was 47, and our records for the day 92, the record high. Set back in 1927, the record low of 30, set back in 1985. So here is your first offense forecast. For the rest of the day out there, we will have partly to mostly sunny skies, although that wildfire smoke will make the skies look more milky and hazy throughout the afternoon. There is a slight chance, only around 10 to 15%, of an isolated pop-up shower, but other than that, most of the region will be dry. Highs today will range from the mid-60s near the immediate Lake Erie shoreline to the low to mid-70s across the southern tier and inland locations. I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Andrew, we'll see you then. As WNY News Now continues, lawmakers are pushing for protections for workers within New York State. And later, we have an update on a pair from Mercyhurst who pushed an unoccupied wheelchair down a flight of stairs earlier in the year. Stay with us, as WNY News Now will be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
On this episode of Lead and Lures, pro staffer and lethal lady Caitlin Armstrong takes out her big Ohio buck. Months of hard work, dedication, and scouting have led her to this moment. You're not going to want to miss this episode of Lead and Lures on Channel 716 Roku TV. And if you want to see more of Caitlin Armstrong, follow her on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Caitlin Armstrong.
Land has been quite the experience.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Some New York legislators are pushing for 2 bills that would extend protections for warehouse and commercial trucking during extreme temperatures. Now today, our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein breaks down the legislation and talks to lawmakers and workers about its impact.
Last summer, Chris Capadona, a UPS driver, went to the hospital after suffering a heat stroke while delivering packages in his work truck that does not have air conditioning.
It's not something you really see coming. You're going about your day doing your job, and then you just get really lightheaded. Your hands lock up, you get cold and clammy, you know what I mean? And then, you start feeling that, you start to panic.
Capadona traveled to Albany to advocate with other workers and union organizations for 2 worker safety bills recently introduced in both chambers. One bill would require warehouse employers to establish an injury reduction program. The other would regulate temperature protection standards and reporting requirements for indoor and outdoor workers in industries like commercial trucking.
We want to make sure that truck drivers, people who work outside in warehouses, are able to actually have a regulated work environment. Nobody should be too cold or too hot.
Senator Ramos says the temperature protection standards would include mandating breaks. During his hospital visit, Capadona's doctor told him breaks are necessary when working in high heat temperatures. But Capadona says he doesn't feel supported by UPS.
Because this is a multi-billion-dollar company that, cares more about the packages and the trucks than their actual workers.
In an email statement to WNY News Now, UPS wrote the safety of their workers is their top priority. UPS states they have a network of health and safety professionals and resources available to employees. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams is calling for an investigation of a nonprofit group accused of lying about homeless veterans being displaced from a hotel to make room for migrants. Now, Adams said the report that emerged last week from the Israel Townie Foundation was false, and he wants to find out what happened. Adams said he is unclear if the false claims broke any laws. Now, CNN had reported 2 homeless men claimed that they were part of a group offered money to pose as veterans and say that they were asked to leave the Crossroads Hotel in Newburgh, New York. Now, the men claimed the nonprofit's group leader, Sharon Towney Finch, was the person who allegedly offered the money and did not pay up. Now, she denied the allegations to CNN last Friday. Well, 2 Mercyhurst University student athletes charged after a woman's empty wheelchair was pushed down a flight of stairs at an Erie bar are scheduled to appear in court Monday morning. 23-year-old Carlson Beery and 21-year-old Patrick Carozzi both face misdemeanor counts of criminal mischief, resulting in damage to property and conspiracy, and a summary count of disorderly conduct. The incident happened March 11th at Sullivan's Pub and was captured on surveillance video, which an employee posted to Twitter. It shows people walking up the stairs at a local bar and the 2 pushing an unoccupied wheelchair down the steps, causing damage to the wheelchair. Now, Vieri is the son of a Philadelphia Flyers interim general manager and a former NHL forward, Danny Beery. He was removed from the Mercyhurst men's hockey team after the incident. Now, Vieri has since apologized, saying he is deeply sorry. Now, Corsi is still listed on the roster for Mercyhurst's men lacrosse team. The owner of the wheelchair, Sydney Beans, lost her leg in a 2021 car accident. Now, she told police the incident caused the left brake handle of the wheelchair to not work properly, the plastic molding on the right armrest to break, the rear handle to become slightly bent, and the wheels to experience drag when moving forward. Now, the 2 are set to appear before District Judge Sue Mack at 11 a.m. Both are being represented by private attorneys. While rural Pennsylvania is home to nearly 3.4 million residents, but population trends in recent years are causing concern. especially for its workforce. This week, the Senate's Majority Policy Committee heard about a workforce challenge in rural communities and possible solutions. Between 2010 and 2020, rural communities lost roughly 85,000 residents. Experts say the death rate has outpaced the birth rate, which means a larger aging population and fewer young people. The trends have had an impact on the rural workforce for years, but experts warn more needs need to be done for rural communities to prosper.
But I think there has to be some outreach. There also has to be some opportunity to show that we would welcome new residents, that they can be valued, that they can be integrated within the community.
According to the Center for Rural Pennsylvania, by the end of this decade, 47 of Pennsylvania's 67 counties will have more senior citizens than young people under the age of 20. Well, coming up, with only a few weeks left to make a deal, officials are meeting at the White House today to discuss the debt limit. And later, we look at the farms as a PA lawmaker is trying to incentivize the agriculture industry. But first, we'll return with a look at our full weather forecast.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, channel 716.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Let's take a look at some of the current conditions in downtown Jamestown. Right now we're under partly sunny skies out there. The current temperature at the Jamestown Airport is 66 degrees with a north wind of 6 miles per hour and a dew point at 45. Let's take a look at some of the rain chances over the next 5 days. It's been pretty dry lately, but we got some beneficial rain on Saturday. The rain chances over the next 5 days, today and tomorrow, very low, 10 to 15%. Most places will not get any rain today, but there's a chance for a pop-up rain shower. Headed into Wednesday, we will have another cold front moving through the region, so that's going to bring some bump up those chances to around 30% with some scattered showers and maybe a thunderstorm. No rain in forecast on Thursday, and then Friday we're back down to 5%. Here's what's happening across the Northeast right now. Pretty much high pressure is keeping much of the Northeast and the Great Lakes pretty much dry today and over the next few days. There is a weak cold front that has stalled out across the region, across New York State. That will be the culprit for a couple of isolated showers, but most of the time will be dry, and you'll see it here on Future Scan. Future Scan shows the rest of the afternoon out there across the region. Pretty much partly to mostly sunny skies, but again, it does show a pop-up isolated shower, mainly across the inland southern tier, and then we should go partly to mainly clear skies through the night tonight, with temperatures lows dropping tonight back into the 40s. Heading into tomorrow, basically the same thing tomorrow as today, partly to mostly sunny skies through the day tomorrow, but again, a chance for an isolated pop-up rain shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, and then we should go partly sunny skies through the night Tuesday and into Wednesday, and then Wednesday again, a cold front's going to drop through the region, so we bring scattered showers into the forecast. And now the extended forecast powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. Temperatures over the next few days will be in the low to mid 70s, and then that cold front moves through on Wednesday, and we drop down into the low to mid 60s for Thursday and Friday after some scattered showers on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday will be mainly dry with mostly sunny skies, and then heading into the holiday weekend, the weekend again will be mainly dry, temperatures in the 70s, but maybe an isolated shower possible on Sunday.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. And some headlines for you from around the nation. President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy are scheduled to meet at the White House Monday for another discussion about the debt limit. The potential default date is less than 2 weeks away, and concerns about the possible ramifications are growing. According to a White House official, Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy spoke by phone Sunday, a conversation McCarthy called, quote, productive. This is running low for Biden, and McCarthy's Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the U.S. could go broke as soon as June 1st. Now, some analysts say that a default would likely cause a recession, a jump in unemployment, place federal and military salaries in jeopardy, and cause a stoppage of Social Security benefits. Republicans have been seeking spending cuts in the federal budget in exchange for their support to raise the nation's borrowing limit. Now on Sunday, Biden acknowledged significant disagreement with Republicans in some negotiations and said some of his political rivals may encourage default to harm his re-election efforts. While like many industries, the agriculture industry is facing a labor issue. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that there are thousands of jobs opening each year, and more people needs to replace those who are changing careers or retiring. One Pennsylvania congressional member believes his piece of legislation could help incentivize young people to get into the industry. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports.
The legislation is really important because it speaks to the future of agriculture.
North Pennsylvania Congressman Glenn Thompson, who also chairs the House Agriculture Committee, says one of his top concerns he hears from people across the U.S. is that they're facing a labor shortage in the agriculture industry.
Who is going to be there to take over the farm and to work on the farm?
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they expect an average of a little more than 140,000 openings for agriculture workers each year for the next few years. The BLS says most of those openings are expected to result from the need to replace workers who transfer to different occupations or retire.
The age of the average farmer in the United States is 57 and a half years old. So it raises a question, who will be providing us with our food, our fiber, our building materials, and our energy resources in the future?
To fill those spots and replace outgoing ag workers, Rep. Thompson is sponsoring the Young Farmer Success Act. It's legislation he believes will incentivize people to get into the industry.
Essentially, they'd have to work in agriculture for at least 10 years. They'd make payments. They don't miss any payments. And at the end of 10 years, they would be able to have their loans forgiven.
The model is similar to the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, where after students finish their education and complete a certain amount of service work, their student loans will be forgiven. Thompson says his goal is to find homegrown solutions to address problems like this one.
It's a reward for being one of those folks who is going to work hard to provide us with all the things that we need in life that's essential, starting with our food.
In Washington, D.C., Rachel Knapp reporting.
A former NASA astronaut and 3 private citizens blasted off from Florida in a SpaceX rocket on Sunday. The crew will dock with the International Space Station on Monday and stay on board for a week. The Houston-based company Axon put the mission together It is a second all-private mission to the space station, and this one will make history. Stem cell researcher Raywana Barani will become the first woman from Saudi Arabia to travel to space. The 3 paying citizens will work alongside the crew members on the space station. They'll carry out nearly 24 experiments and science projects, including work on stem cells and other biomedical research. Well, coming up next, Memorial Day is just around the corner, and this group of mothers is planning a celebration to commemorate the lives of the brave.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
On this episode of Lead and Lures, pro staffer and lethal lady Caitlin Armstrong takes out her big Ohio buck. Months of hard work, dedication, and scouting have led her to this moment. You're not going to want to miss this episode of Lead and Lures on channel 716 Roku TV. And if you want to see more of Caitlin Armstrong, follow her on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Caitlin Armstrong.
Land has been quite the experience.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma. ¿Cuántos años tienes?
No. Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
An organization dedicated to veterans is working to honor the lives of those who are currently fighting or have fought, and to remember the heroes that made the ultimate sacrifice. Now, our Alyssa Wright is joining us in the studio today with more on how these moms are saluting these soldiers. Alyssa?
Bronson, with Memorial Day fast approaching, those at the Blue Star Mothers are making final preparations for their 10th annual Gold Star Memorial. We at WNY News Now sat down with 2 of these moms to find out why this memorial is just so important to them.
We're Blue Star Mothers. We have children who serve, and if they've died during a time of service, during a time of war, their Blue Star is covered with a Gold Star, and they become Gold Star heroes, and their parents are Gold Star mothers and fathers and families.
The mothers recognize the immense support they receive from the community.
We have probably the most patriotic community I've ever seen. And we are so well supported by all of the people in the community, and we get a lot of participation that day. We'll have a couple hundred here. And by the way, bring your lawn chairs when you come, because there isn't always enough seating for everybody.
Throughout all of the traditions the Blue Star Mothers have, there's one that sticks out to Vice President Kathy Culver.
This year we're going to have 21 names that are going to be called out, but we honor all local heroes that have died during 1985 and on, but then we remember all of our Gold Star heroes from all the wars.
And one of the traditions that's most meaningful is we release a biodegradable white balloon for each of the names that we read. And so as we just very solemnly watch that balloon float up, it's just really, it brings you to tears thinking about that.
Well, the Gold Star ceremony will take place May 27th, starting at 10 a.m. at Veterans Park in Jamestown. And of course, the public is welcome to attend. For more information, you can visit the Blue Star Mothers Facebook page.
Well, Alyssa, it's pretty nice to see that the Blue Star Mothers are still doing their stuff. We join them every year. And coming this Memorial Day, we'll also still be at the parade. We'll always cover it for you, even without Justin here, but we're doing well without him so far. But that is all the time that we have for today. We'll leave you with this live look over Chautauqua Lake. We'll see you next time.